In this video, I'm going to share with you my virtual law firm's expenses. I've been solo since 2019. It is about to be 2024. My law firm continues to grow. But the question is, are the expenses continuing to grow? And if so, to what extent? So I got a bold strategy with this one, Cotton. I'm going to ruin this video's ranking before it even begins. YouTube wants long watch time on videos because long watch time and likes down below that are hit allows videos to rank higher according to the YouTube gods and YouTube algorithm. But yeah, I'm gonna ruin that up front because I know as a viewer, you wanna go straight into the content, but sometimes I have to provide context in order for the content to make sense because it ends up just being a lose-lose situation for me. If I don't provide context when it's needed, then that's gonna leave you as a viewer with more questions than answers. Then you're not gonna like the video. You're gonna feel like you wasted your time. If I start having a foundation that I'm laying in a video like this, then I also get people who are annoyed because, bro, get to the point, it takes too long. So what I'm gonna do is make everyone happy, and timestamps are below. We have the ability, we have the technology to just jump in time in this video. So if you just really want to get to the content, feel free to do that. Just skip right now and go straight to the content. But if you find yourself thinking like, wow, that doesn't really make sense, don't get mad at me. Just rewind the video, come back to this portion in order to get the context. Or if you're gonna watch it from beginning to end like a normal person, respect to you. Okay, so let's lay some foundation. First things first, this video is basically going to be a rabbit hole video because we're gonna talk about the expenses, and with a lot of the subject matter related to the expenses, I have previous videos. So I don't wanna waste your time talking about what I've already talked about in other videos in this video, but I also don't wanna waste your time by repeating the same line over and over again by saying, hey, click the link sliding above and click the link down in the description to check out the video. I'm just gonna like point somewhere, like I'm trying to land a plane at the airport. Hopefully there will be like a little mini clip that you can watch from that video to get a sense that there is a video, and then just go in the description, click it. I'm just gonna say it the one time and then just start pointing from now on. So if you see me in the future, if you skip ahead doing this and you don't know what I'm doing, you missed the context. Okay. Second, and more importantly, one of the videos that I posted back in 2020 was the step-by-step video of how I started my virtual law firm with $2,000 up front, what all went into that $2,000 purchase or purchases, and then also how I kept my law firm up and running for around 125 bucks a month. That balling on a budget concept was at the extreme during those days. Keeping in mind, I went solo in 2019. And as time has been going on, expenses have been rising, but still staying pretty manageable. Teasing that for now. We'll get into the expenses in a second. But if you are watching this, trying to get a sense of how can I start my own virtual law firm, that's the video to watch. And the reason for that is some of those upfront costs that I paid whenever I initially went solo, I'm obviously not paying again because it's an upfront cost. So those are going to be left out of this video. So you may want to go watch that one, then come back to this video. That way you have more context to what you're watching. Some context on the current state of my virtual law firm, because expenses don't really tell the whole story until you know what my law firm's like needing based on like the demand of the day-to-day stuff. So I'll say this. In the year 2023, I think I just recently counted this up, my law firm received over 60 new clients. Not 60 new cases, 60 new clients in the year 2023. That doesn't include the cases in the year 2022 that had carryover into the following year. The reason why I'm making this distinction between clients and cases is because one client doesn't always equal one case. You could have a client that has a third-party bodily injury case, that has also a first-party UIM case, and potentially a first-party bad faith case. That could be 3 cases built into one client file. So with 60 plus clients signed up in 2023, I've been busy. I've been doing a lot, and it's helped hiring a case manager, my first employee, but it's also helped getting additional tools and as a result, expenses to help offset the increased workload. Now, this takes me to another critical point, which is that the sun is really coming out right now and whitening me out, but I think we're too deep into the video to make changes, so bear with the vampire look that's kind of going on here. But the real critical point is probably going to be the deafening silence of the fact that if you watch through this video and if you're looking for a marketing or advertising expense, you're not going to find it. I've spent $0 since going solo in 2019 on marketing in order to get clients. All of my clients have come in through word of mouth referrals. And that is something that I've preached on this channel on Law Venture nonstop. I have so many videos about this. I think I'm gonna just like Vanna White this one instead of like pointing in one specific space. So you can check out a lot of the videos related to this concept. But boil down, if you can turn your providers, your network, your clients into your walking billboards, there is going to be exponential growth. And I'm experiencing that firsthand. Another thing that I wanna mention is that I'm not gonna talk about salaries in this video. And the reason for that is salaries is just going to be so dependent on each person watching this. If you're trying to go solo and the personnel you're trying to hire, you figure out what's going to be best based on your ball on a budget approach. And I'm also not going to talk about rent because from this video, you'll see that I had this space built out for my virtual law firm, which then takes me to just running my virtual law firm. I think the number one question I get is, Jared, how do you run a virtual law firm without law firm management software? Well, guess what? I have a video on that as well. I don't have law firm management software that I use. If you want to check out what I use, that video popped up a second ago. And so you're not going to see an expense on that one either. Okay, so I think that provides enough context here. We've progressed from the $125 a month approach when we were balling on a budget in the early days. We've gone from startup mentality to my new mentality, which is scalable growth. It's been quite the transition. I'm still maybe not fully into like completing that transition, but we're getting closer and closer. All that said, let's dive into the expenses. Okay, so I'm looking at my list of expenses that I'm gonna share with you, and let me start by saying that they are in no particular order. This is not order of importance. This is not highest to lowest. This is just what was on the billing statement, so you're basically gonna get a sense of what I pay in what order. Let's dive in with payroll. I use Gusto for payroll, and I pay $55.44 per month. Is actually a price that I'm very happy to pay because Gusto does a lot of the heavy lifting with the payroll and tax side of things. Originally, when I first went solo, it was me making like good money, but it was just me. And so it was something to where I was able to keep track of a lot of the things. And then it just got to the point where I didn't have as much time to do that. And I wanted to start paying a service to make my life easier. And Gusto ended up being that service. Moving on. The next expense here is something that's going to be dependent, I guess, on your jurisdiction, and this is for all my plaintiff lawyers out here, but I pay $66.67 per month for my Trial Lawyers Association here in the state of Texas. Fax. So, and not F-A-C-T-S, like I'm making a point. Fax. Just fax. F-A-X. For those that have seen this video, I use HumbleFax, and a little update from that video is that I now pay $25 a month. They have like a new payment plan for law firms that are having to send HIPAA compliant faxes, and based off of that, they have the extra charges that take it up to $25 a month. I've been super happy as the sun is like coming in and out and all the white balance is changing. I've been super happy with HumbleFax. The only annoying little quirk is that there's like this 200-page limit to where you kind of have to email in order to get that limit lifted. I think I only had to do it one time, but push come to shove, if you find yourself in a pinch, just send like 2 faxes that says, hey, this is part 1, this is part 2. Okay, so next expense, Google Workspace, $25.58 per month. Big proponent of Google Workspace, video there. and that helps keep me virtual. That allows me to have access to Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, all the Google products. My intake form is through Google Forms, and that's been honestly the best expense that I've invested in, hands down. It has made life so much easier. And I have a video about how I use Google Workspace with my case manager in order for us to be on the same page. We'll provide a link to that one down in the description below. And I said it. I wasn't supposed to say it. I was supposed to just keep doing this, and I just was on autopilot in that moment. I apologize. But keep in mind that $25.58 per month with Google Workspace is because we have 2 users, myself and my case manager. So if it's just you, if you're purely solo, then basically split that in half, and that's what you're rocking with on a monthly basis. This then takes me to Google Voice, and big proponent of Google Voice. Pretty sure I have a video on that one as well. And with Google Voice, I'm paying $51 per month. Again, 2 users. Google Voice has been fantastic. It allows me to call, allows me to text. Clients love texting, and so that's made life even easier because I can pair it with Google Workspace. This next one, I haven't actually started paying for. I'm still within the 30-day trial period, but it's $48 a month in order to sign up for Duet AI. That's DUET AI. And it's $48 a month because we have, again, 2 users. So you can cut that in half if you're just getting this AI for yourself. This is going to be another video, a separate video. I do not have a video about Duet AI, but to just tease this expense, basically what it is this is Google's AI that's paired with Google Workspace. So it's kind of like an upsell to Google Workspace. This is a pretty new concept that Google's been rolling out. And I just recently, like 2 weeks ago, signed up for it. I'm a big proponent of trying to be an early adopter so I can potentially be grandfathered into something. I get that FOMO in that sense. And so with Duet AI, it thus far is helping with writing emails. So basically you can write an email out, highlight your email that you wrote, and basically have Duet AI rewrite it for you. You can have Duet AI rewrite it in a more casual sense, in a more formal sense, or just rephrase it. And that could be beneficial if you have, I don't know, an employee that isn't the best writer with emails, or it could just help you with your thought process. If you're going to send like a 2-sentence email, it doesn't really do you too much good in that context. But Duet AI can also help with Google Sheets. And so that's been, I think, the biggest motivator for me trying to become an early adopter, because I have my case manager writing demand letters. And when she writes demand letters, I end up having to come back and fine tune some of the writing. And maybe that's just my OCD. But what we've been doing is having her use Duet AI through Google Sheets in order to polish up her writing, in order to make it a little bit cleaner to read. And I think that's been helpful. Getting her to adopt Duet AI is a little bit of a transition because she's just used to writing and it feels like an extra step. But in reality, it's not an extra step because now I don't have to keep going back as an editor to help get that polished up. And then Duet AI also ends up helping automatically creating your Google Slides, and it can create an image based off of just like a description you type. Like it could be a whale on a tricycle, and it'll create an image of a whale on a tricycle. I haven't tried it yet, but I think that's going to be pretty important for my lawyers that are going into a courtroom and trying to utilize slides in order to have the visuals necessary to have an effective argument. I haven't, again, utilized it, but I'm excited to eventually do that. So this one is more of a, I don't know, it's not necessary, but it's more of a luxury type of purchase and subscription. And again, I think with the AI concept, the more it can learn about what you need, then hopefully the better it becomes. So we'll see, TBD. Like I said, I'll have an additional video on that one later down the line. So next purchase, and this is something that I'm just going to like prorate down to a month, but my permanent mailbox through UPS, I pay $306 per year currently. That's actually cheaper than the permanent mailbox that I was paying when I was living in the Austin area. I'm now in Dallas, because I went back and I looked at my expenses from that 2020 video, and I think I was paying like $320 a year on that permanent mailbox. It's based on supply demand in your location. This one, $306 per year, which comes out to $25.50 per month if you spread it out. Another one, and this is more of a luxury, but I'm gonna throw out this recommendation. The website CVN. So CVN has a lot of courtroom videos, to where if you want to go watch Mark Lanier try his entire case against Johnson & Johnson, you can watch that entire trial from opening to closing and everything in between on CVN. They like have a camera crew that goes out and records the entire, I think they call it gavel to gavel trial, for lawyers to be able to just see. And I've found that to be a very fantastic resource to help learn from the greats and to get a sense of what defense lawyers like to do in certain situations, to spark ideas on themes and concepts and ways to present, to see different styles in action. Ultimately, the point here is I pay $99 a month for that. Not super cheap, not something that's going to, I mean, especially when you compare to Google Workspace, which keeps my law firm up and running. $99 a month is definitely something that is palatable, given if you are kind of a nerd like me and you want to learn from these other people. I can't necessarily spend the time going to trial across country to watch maybe Rick Friedman. And so if you want to maybe pay for the convenience, then $99 a month doesn't seem so bad in that context. Now, next expense, Thrive Themes. I'm a big proponent of Thrive Themes. On Law Venture, there's an online course that's free that shows you step by step on how to build your own law firm website. I built my own law firm website, stonefirm.law. You can check it out. And I'm grandfathered in. This is like the early adopter idea that you need to keep in mind. If there's something that seems like it's going to catch fire, early adopt so you can be grandfathered in. So my grandfathered in price per year is $228 per year, which comes out to about $19 per month. And that one has been worth every penny. Super happy about that purchase. My GoDaddy expense. So this is basically, other than the website builder itself, everything that comes from hosting, SSL certificate, and all that bundled together. I pay for the overkill package. This is going to be way more than probably what most people need to pay just for a simple website. But I pay about $703 per year, which comes out to $58.58 per month, if I read my handwriting correctly. So that's going to be based on your individual situation. I like not having to worry about like having a slow website or hosting being an issue or the SSL certificate automatically renewing. And frankly, GoDaddy's help customer support has been pretty fantastic. Anytime I've had an issue, they've been super helpful. Okay, so the next expense is something that I didn't include in the $125 a month video that was being mentioned earlier, because this wasn't a thing at that point in time. So basically, in the state of Texas, all of a sudden there became this new rule that the registered agents for your company could not be the address of a permanent mailbox or a PO box. So I got a letter in the mail that's like, you can't do this anymore. We flagged it as a permanent mailbox. So I was like, all right, even though UPS will like sign for packages and stuff when they come in. So I ended up having to pay for subscription to a Texas registered agent, which is like their business, I guess. I've never actually been there. And that is only $39 a year. So that comes out to $3.25 a month. Every now and then I'll get like a document that they've received and will scan for me. But honestly, I pay basically that $3.25 per month in order to keep the Secretary of State's office happy. So yeah, do what you want based on your jurisdiction and what's required. Man, the sun really can't decide if it wants to come in or stay away. So Next purchase or next expense is the same expense that I mentioned in that first video. My business credit card through Chase, that's $95 a year, comes out to $7.92 per month. That hasn't changed. That's been a flat rate, and I love the credit card. It allows me to not only get the points that I'm trying to get, but it also allows me to transfer those travel points basically to my personal Chase card. So I'm basically just like compounding my personal points through Chase with my business points. I think I have a video on that as well. That one is kind of blowing the dust off of videos that I made a while ago, but it's still relevant today. And then next up, I want to talk about PDF Expert. So I think most PDF programs these days, beyond like what comes with a Mac, if you want something with a little bit of juice behind it, requires a subscription. And I'm pretty sure PDF Expert these days requires a subscription. But if you watch that first video that I made, I think it was like $80 one-time payment. I did that, and now I'm grandfathered in. PDF Expert still gets updates. I think there's like a new and improved version that I could subscribe to and pay a monthly subscription fee, but this grandfathered in portion has been fantastic. And so I don't plan on making any changes on that front. And then speaking of PDFs, let's talk about getting PDFs signed. I'm still using PandaDoc. So PandaDoc is a free online certified signing software that's going to be comparable to DocuSign. But PandaDoc's free. I've run my entire law firm for 4 years on PandaDoc. If things need to be electronically signed, it's all going through PandaDoc. I've done verifications, affidavits, releases, all of that has been through PandaDoc, and it's been free. Haven't paid a penny for it. Honestly, if they wanted a donation at this point, I would send them a donation. But they haven't reached out to me, so that's on them. Now, another question I get a lot is, okay, what about Westlaw or Lexis? I don't pay for either one of those. I haven't been able to justify it in my mind in order to do that. And I can try and justify and lawyer math a lot of things, but that one I just can't. I use Google Scholar, which is free. And there's also, and this may be jurisdiction specific, but the Texas Bar Association combines the website for the Texas Bar Association with a different platform where you can do legal research. The name is escaping me right now, but all that to say, the combination of those two, Google Scholar and through the Texas Bar's provided legal research tool, don't have to pay anything. So that's absolutely free. So if we total all this up, the total monthly expenses comes out to be $484.94. Or put differently, that's $5,819.28 per year. Because I'm all about providing context to the content, let's bring everything full circle. So from the beginning of the video, I mentioned how my law firm continues to grow each and every year. The question is, to what extent are the expenses starting to increase? Am I still able to apply this ball on a budget approach? Well, if you look at the year 2023, like I said, I was able to sign up over 60 clients, which has resulted in well over 60 cases in this last year. And as you know from the previous video that I posted, I originally was paying $125 a month. Those expenses, salary aside, have gone up to only $485 per month. I think that's a pretty great margin. So if you have any questions on starting a virtual law firm, going solo, or how you can ball on this budget, let me know in the comments section down below. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. Be sure to hit the like button. It allows videos like this to rank higher so we can reach more people, ultimately help more people, hopefully get more people on this path of starting their own virtual law firm so they can succeed and master their legal career while also helping people. That's always a huge plus. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And with all that said, I'll see you in the next video.